Hello, my fellow movie geeks. Welcome to my 2022 movie summary. What did I watch this year, you ask? Well, you're just gonna have to watch this video to find out. So let's start off with Scream 2022. This was a hit or miss for me. It was definitely in between. It's got its own feel, but I am intrigued enough to want to see where they're going to go with it in Scream 6. One of the greatest things about this movie was, in my opinion, Tara Carpenter. Jenna Ortega is an amazing addition to this franchise. I hope that we get to see a lot more of her. The kills were creative. I give them that. I love the fact that they honored Wes Craven. They needed to get our respect, and they found a way. And I love how meta they were able to get. I loved the meta. It was fantastic. The opening scene is very solid, in my opinion. It gave a great Scream essence, and they did something different, because I love the fact that no one actually died. They were just attacked, thank goodness, because it was Tara in the opening scene, and I wanted to see her live. The soundtrack is it's on one of my playlists. I still listen to some of those songs, like Salem, Falling Out of Love. I love Dylan Minette's band, The Wallows. Anyway, it needed more chase scenes, though. We didn't get any in Scream 5, and we definitely could use some. I'm sorry, but I hated the killer's motives in this. Amber and Richie's motives they weren't solid enough for me. And then we have Dewey's death. Oh, Dewey's death. It was way too obvious, in my opinion. It seemed way too mapped out. Sam's character, it needs work. I know a lot of people are saying that she's wooden. I wouldn't go that far, but they definitely need to work on where they're going to actually take her personality, because I feel like she's lacking in that department. But what sold me, what made me want to see more of her, was at the end. I loved her passion. When she kills Richie, oh my god. Yeah, this movie is definitely, it's a hot one, and I will definitely watch and rewatch. So we've got the Netflix original movie called Brazen, which stars Alyssa Milano, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to watch this movie to begin with, because I have nostalgia alongside Miss Milano. But, unfortunately, this movie was definitely overacted at times. It was supposed to be very serious, but I didn't take them serious half the time. And of course, we had a typical love interest, which was the typical detective that was supposed to investigate her sister's murder. It is a decent mystery, though. I give it that, because I kept watching it because of the fact that I really wanted to see, who did it and where this story was gonna go. Although you figure it out rather quickly, it's a movie that's easy to forget, and you'll only want to watch it once. And because once you figure it out who actually did it, you will not want to see this again. Because pretty much the third act of the movie, you figure out who is doing it, and they kind of make it obvious after a while. So, I mean, if you like that, hokey, harlequin-y, sensual, steamy kind of movie, then with some mystery, with a little bit of mystery, twisted into it, then yeah, give this movie a go. Give it a watch. But I'm not gonna watch this again. An HBO original movie called The Fallout. This has Jenna Ortega in it, so it definitely caught my attention. Oh man, this movie it has very delicate subject matter. It hits all emotions on all cylinders, because the subject matter is just so heavy, but they do it very delicately. I have to say that. They're very delicate. Jenna Ortega's character, Beta, she's very relatable. So as you watch her go through, this trauma, this grief, this guilt, all of these emotions that she's dealing with, you feel like you're feeling them with her because she's very relatable. This movie, oh my god, it teaches you that sometimes not being okay is okay. And it definitely deals with guilt, grief, and trauma. And the fact that she finds a friend in this who shares the same trauma as her, and they're not having to deal with it alone, it's a very spiritual, very painful, heart-wrenching movie. Because the way that it ends, it leaves you with solace, but it also leaves you with a somber feeling. But I would definitely recommend this movie, and I would definitely watch it again. But I now know that I have to be prepared with some Kleenex. So apparently, this next one it's a word that I cannot really pronounce, so please bear with me. I've even tried to look up how to pronounce it, but I think I'm gonna butcher it either way. But it is called the requin. It is French, and it actually literally means shark. How cool is that? Anyway, it stars Alicia Silverstone, so that kind of sparked some interest in me because I have nostalgia with Miss Silverstone as well. Unfortunately, though, that's where the nostalgia and the good feelings come to die, because this film is not that good. It starts us off like a Lifetime movie, and then it ends as if it is a movie that should be on the Sci-Fi Channel. Oh, it's hard to watch. By 40 minutes in, you're like, where is this shark? Where is it? Where's the requin? Where is it? It's nowhere to be seen. It is basically just her being emotional, and they're in the water. She has trauma about water, and yet they decided to go on a retreat that's literally above water. This does not make any sense to me, because they're not even talking about her struggling or wanting to, what is the right word? Wanting to, jump over this obstacle. Nope. She's just having episodes, and she's, traumatized, dealing with PTSD, because she had a birth and she made a decision that she wasn't proud of. But I will, after saying all of that, Alicia Silverstone was in fact fantastic, though, with what she was given to work with in this movie. So I will give her that. So Alicia, hats off to you. I would never say as if or whatever to you. Most of what was happening, though, in this movie, it didn't make much sense. The decisions that were made didn't make any sense. But, hey, it's a shark movie. The special effects, they sucked ass. But hey, I watched it once, and sorry, but I am not watching this one ever again. So for this one, I thought that I would have a lot more to say, but unfortunately, I really actually don't, because to be honest, I didn't even finish this one. It is in fact Jackass Forever. Like I said, to be honest, I didn't even finish this one. It wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same. It did have new characters. They were trying to bring some new people in to do stupid stuff like the old characters did, but it wasn't the same. It's not the same without Ryan Dunn, R.I.P., and Bam Margera. I mean, the stunts just seemed like they were trying too hard to really just kick their own asses. I mean, normally I love that. Normally I do. I love when they kick their own asses. And I love when they hurt themselves. I mean, that's my kind of humor. Sometimes I just like to sit on my couch and watch somebody beat the shit out of themselves. But this time around, their ages were more apparent, and it just kind of felt more like geriatric water sports. Them just, flailing around and just hurting themselves without actually really hurting themselves. I would have to give a pass on this one. Okay, for this next one, I was genuinely excited about this one. When I watched it and afterwards, I was left with so much happiness and so much joy. Yes, it is Marry Me, and it is on Amazon Prime. Please go watch it, because I'm going to watch this movie every February around Valentine's Day, because it is the cutest, most entertaining movie I have seen in a while. Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, I salute you. Thank you for an amazing rom-com. I had a blast with this movie. Was it realistic to just pick someone out of the crowd and ask them to marry you? No, not realistic in the least. But you know what? It worked for the premise of this movie, and the soundtrack was absolutely stellar. But does that really surprise you, knowing that Jennifer Lopez is the one that pretty much does the majority of the soundtrack? It does not surprise me. And Owen and Jennifer's chemistry in this was amazing, spot on, and I love the reunion because of it brings me back to Anaconda. Just seeing them two, back together, I was like, yes, an Anaconda reunion. This movie was amazing. I would definitely tell you to watch this movie because I am going to keep watching it every year. Exciting rant over. So for this next one, I set my alarm clock for 3 a.m. to wake my ass up and watch on Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Yeah, it was entertaining for the moment, but I do give it this. The kills were creative and brutal. It had a beauty to it and also a grittiness, which I appreciated. The final girl, Lila, had potential, but in my opinion, I feel like they made her backstory way too heavy. The fact that she was a survivor of a certain kind of violence at a school, and I feel like it's too triggering in my opinion. I just feel like they didn't need to really add that in. And I feel like Sally's character was there just for nostalgia's sake, because of the fact that I feel like they wanted a character to tie in to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though it actually wasn't even the same actress, R.I.P. But I don't know, they cheapened her character, the way that they did her dirty like that. Like a friend of mine has always said, they threw her in the trash. I always laugh whenever he says that. But yes, So the ending, I was rooting for this sucker, okay? The ending was going strong. The way that Lila, overcame Leatherface, I was like, yes! But then they went into that little electric car, and then they just had to go and do what they did with Leatherface coming back, and it was entirely cheapened, and it kind of ruined the rest of the film for me. I feel like if they left that out, it actually wouldn't have been that bad, but I don't know. It wasn't earned for me, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. So, will I be watching this movie again? No. Okay, so many of you may not know this, but I am a huge Madea fan, okay? I love anything that Tyler Perry brings out to the world, because he is a creative genius, in my opinion. And I, toot my own horn here for a second, I actually got to see one of his plays, and it was a magical experience, I have to say. But I'm venturing off here, way too far. So Netflix decided to release a certain character coming back. Yes, my friends, coming back, even though Tyler Perry said Medea was dead. Nope, she rose from the grave and she has returned. Netflix released Medea Homecoming. Now, I loved seeing Medea back. Let me tell you that. First and foremost, I obviously love seeing Tyler Perry slip back into the Medea character, even though he actually hates Medea. He hates playing her because he doesn't like how rude she is and how, she has no filter. But nonetheless, we all love that woman because of the fact that she does not have a filter. Anyway, I am also a Britcom fan, so when I found out that two of my favorite things was actually going to cross paths, I was like, oh my god, where do I sign up? Agnes Brown from a Britcom called Mrs. Brown's Boys, they decided that they were going to collab. And I can't tell you how much I loved the fact of seeing Agnes Brown interacting with Medea. It was a treat. But there's some downfalls to this movie. They may have tried a little too hard, being too aware of some issues. I'm not going to go too far into it, but if you know, you know. Unfortunately, though, this was not my favorite Medea movie, but did I nonetheless love seeing her come back? Hell to the yeah. Will I rewatch this? Maybe just because of the fact of seeing Medea and Agnes Brown together. I might rewatch this, but to be honest, I have all of the other Medea movies that I can enjoy. This kind of horror film is right up my alley. It has dark comedy, it has music, and it has good gory fun. But before we go any further, I do have to say that there was a particular bandmate that passed away after this film, and I just wanted to say RIP to Taylor Hawkins before I go any further. This movie balances out gore and dark comedy perfectly. I was entertained from start to finish. I have to say that Dave Grohl, he blew me away. I was like, dude, you're doing your damn thing, man. The music is, of course, face-meltingly awesome. I enjoyed it even though I was like, where's the lyrics? Where's the lyrics? But I think they did that on purpose, because I think due to contracts and all that, jazz. The special effects are done so well. I was blown away how amazing the special effects were. Can other horror movies please take notes? Take notes, please. Who knew the Foo Fighters could make a kick-ass horror flick? I had so much fun. This movie was a blast, and I will definitely be watching this one again. Also, rock on. Oh, this next one has my slasher movie lovin' heart. It stole it, it cradled it, and it is singing it a lovely, lovely lullaby. I am talking about the movie X by Ty West. Can I just say that this man has done no wrong. He treated an X-rated matter very gracefully. I mean, everybody that has wanted to watch this movie, they were skeptical because they're like, oh my god, it's a porno. It's also a horror movie. This is gonna get really raunchy and it's gonna get really uncomfortable. But nope, Ty West, he blew it out of the park, man. It felt like I was watching a 70s slasher. I loved it. I loved every flippin' second of it, except for the two old people bumping uglies. Anyway, All of the actors made you feel for their characters. Every single one I felt bad for if they met a not so nice end. I felt for each one. And let me tell you, Mia Goth playing two characters was outstandingly clever. She blew me away. Both characters I flippin' loved. Although I felt satisfied when she kind of ran over Pearl. But anyway, this movie I will be watching and I will be rewatching and I will be watching and I will be rewatching because I absolutely adore this film. It is absolute perfection. What to say about The Lost City? Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt, Daniel Radcliffe. May I say more? Need I say more? I mean, it was a perfect rom-com. I had so much fun with this movie. I had a blast, okay? Perfect rom-com with an Indiana Jones kind of twist, with a side of Harlequin romance novel on the side. Just like some people like ranch on the side, we got some Harlequin romance novel on the side. And I also loved the surprise. The song Red Right Hand was in this freaking movie. And when I heard it, I was like, dude, this is awesome. And I was just like thinking of Ghostface while Brad Pitt is, frolicking in the freaking jungle. It was pretty awesome. Also, can I say I did not see a certain character's death coming. I'm not gonna say who, because I want you to see this movie for yourself. It's worth it, trust me. Also, Daniel Radcliffe as a villain, it was absolutely hilarious. But he pulled it off so well, because I don't think that Daniel Radcliffe can pull off like full-blown. He could definitely pull off dark, menacing character, but this movie didn't ask for that kind of villain. He definitely needed to have some sass and some hilarity to him. And he did that so well, which it does not surprise me, because Daniel Radcliffe, he's amazing. Just like this movie. Please go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. It is a must-watch. I will definitely be watching this one again. So we're just gonna jump right into this one. This is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I have to say, I'm sorry, but I was not impressed with this one as much as I was with the first Sonic. I love me some Jim Carrey. I will love him till the cows come home. But this one, I just was not that impressed with. But I will say this, I loved Tails, just as cute as I thought Tails would be. Oh, it's so adorable. Knuckles was portrayed very well. I had fun watching these video game characters come to life. They were done very well. The story just did not keep me as invested as the first one did. I wasn't as into this one as I was with the first one. It had a lot of potential, but it just wasn't for me. If it is for you, hey, that's fine. But I'm just not gonna watch this one again. I am a huge Marilyn Monroe fan, so I felt compelled to watch this Marilyn Monroe documentary on Netflix. Now, I wasn't expecting much because I had a feeling that they weren't going to have much progression, because it has been a long time since her passing, and also there's just been a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of dark things surrounding her and her death. So when I watched The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes, it was pretty much clickbait. I mean, it didn't really give anything new. It didn't really add anything new to the table. Like, it didn't explain anything. It didn't dive any deeper, because I feel like a lot of it is sealed and I feel like a lot of it is hush hush and secrets, and it's always going to be secrets, and I feel like they're never going to tell us the full story of what truly happened to Marilyn Monroe. So I didn't really learn anything new. The mystery was not even solved, which, like before I said, we're not gonna really get anything else. No major answers were answered. They pretty much used Marilyn's legacy to get views for Netflix. I'm sorry, I'm being ballsy, and I am just going to say it. So, will I watch this again? No. No, I will not. Well, this one definitely took Elvis's legacy and it flipped it upside down and all around, and it did the hokey pokey and it turned itself around. That is what it's all about. Damn! So this movie is called Elvis, and you can watch it on HBO Max. It's a very glamorous film that's the best way I can describe it. I learned things about Elvis I did not know about. I didn't know that he had an asshole of a manager that was literally a leech and was taking all of Elvis's money. It blew me away. I had no idea. And the actor that played as Elvis, Austin Butler, he was very impressive. I felt like I was actually going back in time and was watching Elvis right in front of my very eyes. The only thing is, though, they definitely tried to modernize the era that Elvis he was most active or most famous. It definitely felt that way because there was some music that was kind of out of left field, and I'm not sure what they were trying to do with that. But overall, this movie was fantastic. I loved the way that they filmed it. The cinematography was absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. I would definitely watch this movie again. And also kudos to Tom Hanks. He played that asshole manager very, very well. I mean, Tom Hanks can do anything he puts his mind to. He's amazing. But this movie was phenomenal. This is one phone that you're not going to want to answer. Yes, I am talking about the black phone with Ethan Hawke. This movie was good. I mean, the only issue is there are some very heavy scenes that could be triggering for some. And I don't want to get into it, but personally for me, it was quite triggering. So it's going to be hard for me to even want to rewatch this film, to be honest with you. So because of that, I don't think I could watch this again. But I will say this, we needed more Ethan Hawke. I feel like they didn't show the grabber as much as they should have, because his character really was menacing and, pun intended, quite sinister. Anywhoozin, the cinematography was just stunning. I loved the era. Looked like it was in the 60s, 70s, and it was amazing. They captured it perfectly. The child actors were likable and they were relatable. I definitely would have played hide and seek with these kids if I were their age, because at this age it's just weird. But the ending, it didn't leave much to be desired. I wasn't that impressed with the ending, but I will say this. I am hooked on the thought that the grabber does in fact work for Burger Queen. Fight me. Where the Crawdads Sing. This movie was just incredible. It is such a beautiful film, and it leaves you in tears of happiness and sadness all at the same time. There's a mystery and a romance that just keeps you invested. You want to know if this character Kaya, if she is innocent or if she is guilty. What is the rest of the story? Because it's a puzzle piece kind of story where you just want all of the pieces to just come together. You learn about how people feel about outsiders, how they're not always given a chance, and you don't always get both sides of the story. And sometimes you get them a little too late. And that's what this movie definitely shows you. I recommend this movie. Please go watch it. It is absolutely, it's a stunner. It's an incredible story and an incredible film. So, what do you say when you see a giant killer parachute up in the sky and it looks like it wants to suck you up like a vacuum cleaner and it wants to steal your soul? I'm gonna say Nope, and that's the movie I'm talking about right now. Nope. Directed by Jordan Peele. This is not my favorite Jordan Peele film, but I give him major kudos for having yet another original idea. He just keeps popping them out. He doesn't care how crazy they are, but you know what? You gotta give him credit continuously having original ideas. This one is beautifully shot too. It is gorgeous. I was in love with the cinematography for sure. It was absolutely beautiful. And lo and behold, Angel was actually one of my fave characters. He was like a side character, but there was just something about his personality that just popped out to me, and I was feeling it. I loved how he helped them, even though he probably knew he was in danger, but he didn't really care. I think he was just bored at work and he just wanted to be somewhere else. But I will say this though, all of the other characters you grow invested in as well. There is no character in here that you don't feel something for. So I give Jordan Peele major kudos for that. I will say yes to that.